Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading room. Just a moment here. We'll get the screen share going on. Okay. All right, so the market just opening up, and looks like they are opening more or less where they finished. On Friday, finished on Thursday. Sorry, I'm trying to do a couple of things at once here. Multitasking is not my strong suit. All right. So you can see the overnight relatively quiet. A little big rally going into the close, and then the Asian overnight session fairly neutral overall, and here we are opening around the 67.50 mark, and that's just a little bit above where we left off, not really enough to consider it a big opening gap. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark said took advantage of some early trades this morning. Oh yeah, that late filter entry right here at 5:30, he says. Great little job, little uptick, hit the high probability target. And now we're reversing and kind of trying to figure out which way the market wants to go from here. It's certainly starting the day with a little bit of a bearish slant. We'll see whether the sellers can keep pushing that lower, whether that rally at the end of Thursday was really nothing more than a blowout for the buyers, or if there's actually going to be some follow through from this. But it is opening range. We're only a couple of minutes into the day. No point in getting too excited just yet. Although we are getting some quality signals here on the Hawk. You can see we've had a first micro macro cross, a nice little 4-arrow consolidation. Both those working out. Here, your eagle signal here is your first with trend eagle signal right here, developing just about a minute ago. And that would pretty much coincide with this cloud crossover signal that we're seeing on the Raptor. So a couple of early opportunities there. Right now, I would say that we are pretty much looking at a bear market the way this is shaping up today. Although, if you step back a little bit, if you take a slightly broader view of the market, we still have a pretty serious uptrend going on. All right, well, if you excuse me just for a moment, I'm going to let them thrash about a little bit, and I will be right back. right, so what did I miss? Oh, well, they're still in that downward bent here today. Might have to hold out for a little bit of a pullback, I think. That's always the safest way to enter, but my goodness, if they go into free fall, might not get a really good chance to re-enter. All right, now a little bit of a pullback developing here on the Raptor, very short-lived pullback. We even going to get a number 3 signal? Nope. Look at the follow through on that number 1 signal. This is what always makes it so inviting to try those early trades. The days that the market just goes right out of the gate and never looks back. All right, a little bit of a yellow bar cropping in here now on the hawk. That would be slightly bullish. All right, so now we got ourselves a green bar sell here on the hawk. And you could interpret this actually as the second green bar sell. This one here not developing into a green bar sell, but you did get a green bar cropping in there. What's the significance of that? Well, typically these types of signals show some weakness, and it may open up the market here to a little bit of a short-term reverse. I'm still not totally convinced that the buyers are out of this. Yeah, there you go. Oh, we had a nice little hard edge bounce here on the Raptor. See if we get a second push opportunity on that one. All right, oh, darn it. Not going to let me in on this now. Oh, there we go. It's a really, really late second push opportunity. Normally, the second push will develop within a bar or two. This one is really, really late. So you're looking at, you know, shorting below the recent lows. It looks like it's going to have enough in it. All right, well, let's put that away for now and just hold out here for hopefully something that's going to develop into a higher probability signal for us. Here comes that pushback again. This now the second attempt, or third attempt, depending how you want to count it, of the buyers to try to rally the market. So it is getting a little bit stronger here. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says 2 for 2 on the late filter entries. Had to wait for them, but they came in. Good job. Here now a first micro macro cross signal, and it looks like that's going to have a little bit of giddy up to it. Sorry about that, lost audio. What I was trying to explain was that we had a number 3 signal print, and I was looking for the number 2 signal to come in, a possible counter trend. And when that buy signal developed, even though it did not print as a number 2, I wanted to give it a try because it does seem as though the market's getting a little bit stronger. My stops, of course, have to be below the current low, because this is the point where I can say without a doubt that yes, I am on the wrong side of this position and it's time to go. The seller's trying to knock it back down. Hopefully the buyers are going to get it up here. Certainly if we can get up to the break even, there's going to be a pretty good chance of a rally. And by the way, a very risky move here on my part, trying to capture this counter trend. And of course, that's typical for counter trend type trades. All right, here we go. Let's see if they can get up there to 67, 25, 26. What that's going to do is that's going to knock out this last swing high, kind of the top end of the trading range. And that's going to give an opportunity for the buyers to have some follow through. And that should give us two moves in the new breakout direction. So there is the potential here that it could develop into something bigger. But first things first. First, we got to get above the hard edge here in the top end of the trading range, sitting around 67, 25, 26 in there. Come on, there we go. All right, that was a pretty quick little move, by the way. Come on, just get up there a little more. Give me. All right, so got the first profit target, and I think I'm going to go into the ATR stops for the remainder of this trade. Oh, baby. Darn it. They didn't let me have it. Pretty big swing on the comeback, but that's all right. At least I got partial profit on that position. Beats a kick in the head with a frozen boot, as my uncle always used to say. Oh, it looks like I got a little positive slippage on that one as well. All right, so maybe they are not quite ready to rally yet. You can see we're getting a number one signal now here to short. First micro macro cross to short. A trend change signal here on the Falcon to short, and a possible hard edge bounce to sell as well. Let's see if this low doesn't, oh, okay. Oh, I was going to say if this low holds, we'll have a very good counter trend opportunity. Looked like the market was going to blow right through it, which is why I stopped myself. There they go. Yeah, okay. The market did blow right through it. And the downtrend firmly intact. You'll notice here on the Eagle, this little bit of a pullback, how in hindsight you can see very plainly that it is a pullback, a bear flag type arrangement. And the subsequent follow through. I think it's important to try to step back from your charts a little bit. and really see what's there. You know, we get so caught up on the last 2 or 3 or 4 bars that we forget to take all this into account. Wow, look at them go. All right, I gotta check the news sites to find out what is going on here. I don't know, nothing's jumping out here. Okay. Nothing jumping out at me in the news department, but the market definitely bearish today. Even though my little trade was on the buy side. Oh, here come the buyers again. This is similar to how we were looking the other day, where I mentioned if you have a market that seems to have a well-defined trend, very often you can just pick any sell signal. Now, it's, you know, not to suggest there isn't going to be some buying going on here somewhere, but just, you know, whether it's a high probability signal or not, you can see how just about any sell signal would have worked for you just by banking on that big trend. All right, so here we go with another, you know, just a plain Jane sell signal. Technically, this is a hard edge bounce. It kind of developed a little bit late because the cloud interfered here. You can see the cloud got a little bit bullish. That kind of spoiled the hard edge bounce parameter, but it is still a hard edge bounce. The market into the clouds, coming out of the clouds, and you can see once again, just simply taking a sell signal today, you would have found your profit target without too much difficulty. So those days where you have a trend, an obvious trend, you're always going to do better staying with the trend. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes because you're going to think, oh no, the market can't possibly go lower or higher or whatever the case may be. Oh, it looks like a bottom is forming. Well, that may well be the case, but staying with the trend here, I'll demo this one right here. So here we're getting a sell signal right at the low. Oops, that one was out of reach. There's a sell signal right at the low. Doggone it. Shoot. I don't know what was going on there that it wouldn't take the signal, but here's a sell signal right at the low. You're going to think, no, the market can't possibly go lower, and yet it went lower. Well, I think you get the point. So here's another signal. You think, oh no, the market can't possibly go below there. Well, let's see if, there we go. Did they slip me on that one? They did too. Stinkers. You know, you're going to start thinking, oh, a bottom is in. I got to, I can't take that type of trade. Well, if you can leave a reasonable stop, then there's always a chance that just staying with the trend is going to work out for you. Now, I think we're actually back at some pretty serious lows here. Well, I won't scroll back. It's too far to scroll back, but these the 66.70 range, I think that was a big number for us yesterday as well. And hopefully the market doesn't make a liar out of me, but I'm just trying to show you the importance of staying with the trend as much as you possibly can. Okay, so you can see the buyers trying to push the market back a little bit, and we're getting a little bit of bullish pushback. And is the trend gonna come out on top again? Oh, we're spending a lot of time going sideways here. You can see there were other sell signals you could have taken. Certainly the high probability Sell signals, the number 3 signals, a lot of, certainly this one would have gotten down to your high probability profit target before flinching. The number 1 signal that we were looking at back here. Buyers trying to make a stand. Definitely showing a little bit more bullishness. And it's starting to look like we're getting a little bit of a trading range developing as well. The Raptor going to turn officially bullish here in a moment. The cloud's about to cross. Looks like the Hawk and the Falcon already bullish. Oh, and we have a late filter entry signal here as well. So unlike yesterday's example, the market making a little bit of a liar out of me today. I'm very likely going to get tagged out here, as it looks as though we may finally have a bottom in, or short-term bottom. But most times you're going to find that so long as you stay with the trend, you're always going to do better. And I'm sorry that was a poor example for you. And nice follow through here on the Hawk. A good follow through here on the Falcon as well, both with the trend change and the late filter entry signal. Oh, really? Are they just going to tag me by a couple of ticks and now reverse and head lower again? Hey, nice, well done, Mark. Mark says 3 for 3 on the late filter entries. Says I've been trading 4 cards aside. Good job. Yeah, Mark says maybe time to stop. We'll see. Yeah, it's so important to learn to pick your moments when you're trading. You don't want to be chasing every single signal. It's okay to wait, and it's even okay to miss signals. You should never be too upset at yourself if you miss a trade. It happens. Okay, so we're getting a rather deep pullback. And the eagle now making two solid moves lower. That's typically what you're going to get out of a tool like the eagle. You're going to see like two legs higher or lower, and then the market's going to try to go the other direction. The raptor and the falcon, often you'll get a three-leg move, and then the hawk, well, I've seen as many as 5 legs on the hawk. A 5-legged hawk. All right, we're still bouncing around a little, and it's hard to determine right now whether this is a resumption of the bigger uptrend. This is now the daily chart. So here was yesterday's session. Most of this is coming very early, by the way. Oh, and into the close. Big rally into the close. So now, today's session, is it a continuation of the uptrend, or is it a pushback from the downtrend? Hard to say at this point. Here you can see the hawk waffling already. And here they are, making a little bit of a quick move to the short side again. So this may turn out now to be a really broad test of the extreme. Okay, we got ourselves another #1 signal here to short a cloud or a trend change signal on the Falcon, a really drawn out trend change signal on the Falcon. If I get a decent second push opportunity, all right, well, that's looking not too bad. I can look to short, maybe try to cover to the crest here in the hard edge. This does have the potential of developing into a big double bottom, though. However, if we take out the lows, we could see the market fall lower still. Obviously, there's some support here in this whole 66, 70 to 75 region. And likewise, there's resistance up here at 67.04. It's a broad range, but it's certainly one that opens itself up to the possibility of an OCO type order. If you wanted to do that, that's a possibility as well. You could turn on your OCO, you could short below here. Now, to place your OCO orders, you need to right click on your chart. And you could buy above there, and now you could just wait. Oop, wrong button. You could just wait and let the market decide. I know it seems like a really big range, but really it's not. Yeah, I agree with you, David. David says there's a lot of support at the 66, 75, 76 region. If it breaks, it could go a lot lower. Most certainly could. It's kind of like the whole 66, 70 to 75 zone. All right, let's put that away for now. Here, the hawk giving us an early signal with that first micro-macro cross. Incidentally, the Falcon also with a trend change signal / late filter entry. All right, now we're going to get ourselves a cloud crossover here on the Raptor. It's starting to build. Going to get a corresponding trend change signal here on the Eagle. Might get a 4-arrow consolidation or a macro pullback here in the Hawk. That would also be viable. Excuse me. But it's really starting to look like we're building maybe a little bit of a base here. What I like to do sometimes to make it a little bit more obvious, rather than do the trend line thing, which is great, But sometimes trend lines will break and then the market will still continue lower. But sometimes it's easier to see the change in direction if you, well, I call it connecting the dots. Instead of drawing a trend line across the highs, why don't we do the lows? So you connect your lows, and you can plainly see when the market might be starting to change direction. So we definitely are flattening out here a little bit, which is always the first indication that the market might be getting ready to go the other way. Our eagle band also getting really twisted up now. It's funny, it's a real tug of war going on here. Market going screaming down to around that 6680 region, and they keep trying to push it up unsuccessfully. All right, back here now to our trade. Looks like we may get filled. Got yet another number one signal building. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says those late filter entries have been golden. That last one put me at my 4-trade max. I'm done. Not a bad day for sure. You know, it's so important not to overtrade. It's one of those things I can't emphasize enough. I'll confess, sometimes I feel a little pressure as a trading room moderator to show you something, to put on some sort of trade. But I think you might be surprised at how little I actually trade. Everybody thinks that as a trader you have to know where the market's going next. That would be nice, but it doesn't really work that way. Oh, let's try to pop in there again. For whatever reason, the software kicked me out. That would be nice, but it doesn't usually work that way. As a trader, you just try to take advantage of what the market is doing. And there can often be a big difference between those two things. I'm actually going to delete my break even here for the moment. If we get down below the low of the morning, oh, well, look at that pushback. Wow, the buyers are angry now. Hey, good job, David. You guys, you're knocking it out of the park here this morning. David said I made a nice 13-point profit on the move up between 10 o'clock and 10:05. Well done. And Ryman says I took 2 trades on the hawk and got more than I was looking for. Done at 9:45 a.m. $178, not bad. Scalping for a Friday. My hat's off to you guys. Good job. We're getting a really kind of sticky now here near the lows, and that's a little bit of a concern. I'm thinking on this next attempt to break the lows, it's going to be time to bring my stops in. So as we get closer here to around 66.75, what I'll do is I will roll my stops in a little bit. And I'll actually put a break even down here. The best stop for this trade, by the way, is still up here at the primary support line at 6,700. So if it continues lower, next stop 66.62, 3/4. After that, 66.25. That would definitely be a home run. Well, they're spending a lot of time thinking about it. Yeah, Mark says, well done to those guys. Good to hear successes, and it is. It's always wonderful to hear that you guys are making some money with the tools. That, of course, is the whole purpose of the exercise. Looks like the seller's ready to resume the trend now. So my earlier example had the little bit of bad luck in that my stop was just a few ticks too tight. Scoundrels. I should have maybe drawn a trend line across the eagle highs or something, would have given me maybe a better place to place for my stop placement. I'm hoping the ATR stop is going to hold me in here. If they do continue to lower, you can see they're flinching a little bit early. They kind of stalled here at 66.64, didn't get quite down to 66.63, which was the primary support line. And now they're doing that little bit of a pushback. I really don't want to give them any more room than what they got right there, though. All right, so let's see if they can get through the secondary support at 66.62 3/4, essentially 66.63. There is a chance they're going to run it down here to 66.25. Whenever the market breaks a primary support or resistance zone, you can usually anticipate a 2-zone move. So this would be zone 1. This would be zone 2. Let me throw a profit order in there, make sure I'm selecting the right one. As I get further down here, I'll probably switch to a more aggressive stop strategy, maybe something like the parabolics or even the bar high-low. In fact, I should get that ready. No! Don't tag me yet. A little bit of a bounce back from the 66-63 area. Oh, stinkers. Oh, well, it's still a decent enough move. Can't complain about that. But now that they're underway again, that would be my target. So again, just kind of reinforcing that when you have a trend, how much better off you are staying with the trend. You know, even through here when things were starting to look a little bit more bullish and maybe the buyers were putting in a bottom. Nope, they did not. It's a hard lesson to learn, but you'll learn it one way or the other. Or you have to. You have to learn it one way or the other. And here they go. So it looks like they're gonna try to get down there. Wow, it's been a busy morning. We're only an hour into the session. I've had a lot going on already. An easy way to try to get back into this market now is to wait for a little bit of a pullback. little bit of a pushback now. I could see, maybe some whole numbers. The market always likes whole numbers, right? So here's 66.50, a little bit of a reaction. 66.40 could be a little bit of a reaction. $7.33. About an hour into the session, if there's been a well-defined trend, you'll find that very often after an hour of trading, the market may try to reverse on itself. It won't necessarily be a full-blown reversal, but maybe a little bit of a hiccup kind of reversal, profit taking. And, we almost have that kind of thing going on here right now. This isn't a trade I normally would do. Normally, I would just hold out for the width trend signal, but here we have, the fact that the market has been trading for an hour solid, and we do have a counter trend signal now. We have a second push opportunity. I think with any counter trend trades, it's always advisable to take profit on target. We have a little bit of a hard edge bounce here as well. You can see the market not quite intersecting the hard edge, but certainly visually close enough to be a hard edge bounce. Yeah, that's not going to happen. No, it looks like they're going to fall straight down, get down to that 66.25 area, and then maybe they may be inclined to reverse. Ryman says, Eric, I'm studying the Hawk microscalper on the mini Dow. It's remarkable that you were able to find the 5 trading signals. That came mostly from journaling and feedback from owners. Ray and I did most of the grunt work, but like I said, just simply journaling the trades and coming across the same setups time and again, we slowly got an idea as to what was working and what wasn't. It's part of the reason why I'm such a big fan of journaling your trades as well. All right, the Hawk now here getting a little bit more bullish. We're starting to get some yellow bars cropping in as we get closer to that 66.25 support zone. But I don't think there's any denying the trend today, except for a little bit of a hesitation there. The market just on a full-on tear. Actually, I'm curious, where's my daily chart? I wonder whether we are going to recover all of yesterday's range. This could be a very, very bearish day if it finishes this way. What I mean by that is the market falls right from the open and finishes low on the close. Very, very bearish bar. If you see those kinds of things developing, just start selling with both hands. All right, again, just some follow-up signals here. Another first micro-macro cross here on the hawk. The eagle, several follow-up signals. The falcon here, we haven't looked at too many falcon trades. Oh, I thought the falcon was going to try to give us a late filter entry signal there again, but not right now. The raptor back into the hard edge again. We are starting to produce a few number 2 signals. Notice how when the trend first started, all the moves were long and the pullbacks were short, right? And then we had another long move and then a little bit more of a pullback. But look at what's happening now is we're getting a move and a pullback, a move and a pullback, a move and a pullback. So this is starting to look a little stronger, I have to confess. I don't think the buyers are going to rally the market today, but they may be able to put the brakes on the sellers. And if they are able to do it here at 66.40-ish, 66.30, 66.40, that could be impressive. Okay, a lot more yellow bars here in the hawk. So the hawk starting to look a lot more, well, bullish tendencies. I'm not going to call it bullish yet. Like I said, we're in a full-on bear market. I don't want to get too crazy trying to buy into this. See, here we go with yet another number 3 signal. And actually, there is a little bit of structure here. Oh, shoot, they're going to run away on me again. I was going to say there's a little bit of structure here that you could possibly set up your trade this way. And now you have a chance at a second push entry. So you're pretty much you have another OCO type thing going on where you have a little bit of a sideways channel. So there's my OCO to short. Want to make sure that we have a top here before I get too crazy to buy. You can see I'm giving them a little bit of room. Doggone it. I need to reboot my Ninja. It's popping me out of those orders. So, very risky trade here on my part, a little counter trend attempt. Scott's asking, is there a way to show the eagle cloud on the hawk and the raptor? That is a Ben question. And Ben's email is support@indicatorwarehouse.com. Yeah, you should just be able to take the eagle filter from your DTS and install it on your hawk, and then you can maybe not. I was going to say, and then you can just adjust your, oh yeah, you can adjust your brick size. No, you can't. Or maybe you can. It's a Ben question. All right, so at break even and hopefully just about to kiss my profit target. Oh, whew. That was actually, you know, all joking aside, that was a little bit of a tough trade because while we've halfway's been looking for a bottom to come in, the market's just been screaming lower since the open. But you know, we were witnessing a lack of downward momentum. We were starting to get these number two signals. Things were starting to get a little bit choppier. And so I thought, all right, let's take the next buy attempt. Or so technically this was a number two signal right through here as well, even though it didn't print as such because it was too far removed from the low, too many bars in between. But it was still a number two signal, and it kind of broke out through the top end of the trading range. So again, I'm not calling for a full-on reversal here. I think the market still has the potential to move lower, but we are over an hour into the session, and like I said, typically you'll see some profit taking, a little bit of a pullback type arrangement. But I think that's going to be it for me today. I certainly don't want to try to risk any more. Things are probably going to get a little bit quiet here now as we get a little bit closer to the lunch hour. And you can see just the way the bars are unfolding, how we're starting to get a lot more overlap. We're starting to retrace the same prices. Compare that to this, where we saw very little overlap. I think traders fairly content right now seeing the NASDAQ trading around the 66.50 mark. Yep, see you next week, David. I'm thinking that might be the thing to do, folks. Unless anybody has any questions, we might button up shop here a little bit early. Yeah, it looks like a few of you are heading out. If you are going to continue trading today, I think a little bit of a pullback, like I said, is expected. Maybe back to the, where's my next resistance line? Back to 66, 63. I could see that. Maybe even a retest of the low of the morning. You know what? That could be very feasible. Overall, however, the trend is down, so you may even just content yourself with shooting a trend line across the bottom here and looking for signals that are going to break that trend line. So if we come back here now with what would be a number 2 signal, according to the cloud, it would be counter trend, but according to the big trend, it's actually a with trend signal. But it would be advisable maybe to let it get past that trend line before you commit to it. All right, gang, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you again on Monday. Bye for now.